What's up, guys? Welcome back to another piping hot episode of Blindside Sports. I know that there's supposed to be a co-host here, Nick Wright. Fortunately, he's dealing with some technical difficulties. We hope to have him in later. So, yeah. But what a time of the year for sports fans. I mean, especially today. I mean, first move. Let's see. The Colts fired their offensive coordinator, which isn't really a shock, but that happened. Then it was trade deadline day. So everyone, there's just so much going down. Like Hawkinson, TJ Hawkinson, tight end for the Lions, got traded over to the Vikings. Probably what were the better moves of the day was Bradley Chubb going over to the Dolphins, or yesterday we had Roquan Smith to the Ravens. There's been a lot going on, and then Steve Nash gets fired from the Brooklyn Nets. Ime Udoka from the Boston Celtics, who had all those allegations a couple months ago. Ime Udoka is going to be hired as a head coach of the Brooklyn Nets. It's been a very interesting day, to top it off with maybe a running back controversy in Dallas. I mean, it's crazy. I don't even know where to lead. So I hope you're having a good Halloween or good November 1st. Hopefully you had a good Halloween. Everything stayed, safe for you guys. Nothing too crazy happened, but my Halloween was pretty good. Watched football, chilled. Yeah, pretty solid day. But I'm making sure all my settings are working here. Oh, all right. Are we not live? Okay, we're cool. All right, let's talk some sports. Cool. All right. See if Nick comes in during the show. He comes in during the show, so we'll see what happens. All right. So why don't we start with the NFL trade deadline? There were a couple pretty solid moves today. I mean, the Dolphins, they brought Bradley Chubb in, as we said earlier. The Bears acquired Chase Claypool, which is very, very interesting. One of my favorite moves of the day was Nyheim Hines to the Bills. But let's start with the Dolphins, man. The Dolphins have been cashing out lately. I mean, you like to see it. The Dolphins they trade for Jeff Wilson from the Niners. They have also traded for star pass rusher Bradley Chubb, as we said. And for the Dolphins, man, I'm loving what they're doing. I'm loving the moves. They're realizing, hey, Tua, maybe he isn't so bad. We have this good team. We have Tyreek Hill. We have Jalen Waddle. We have Mike McDaniel, who's turning out to be a very, very good head coach in the NFL. Very, very interesting dude as well. He talks a little funny, but very good coach. And that's nothing against Mike McDaniel. I mean, I did my impression a couple weeks ago on the show when this whole Tua thing happened. Hey, I don't know if Tua is gonna play. Timeline's a little too soon. Yeah, that. All right, it's nothing against McDaniel. Don't come at me for that. But Mike McDaniel is a very solid coach. This team has been doing it right for years. As much as we can accuse the Dolphins of cheating and their whole ownership situation with the guy seems to be a bum. Brian Flores, that whole situation, the whole Tom Brady thing. There's so much with this with this franchise, but we have to admit they're doing it right. They get all these picks from the Trey Lance trade, from the Laramie Tunsil trade. They get all these picks and all of that stuff to just rebuild, and they've done everything right. They drafted their quarterback. They drafted their wide receiver of the future, and they trade for Tyreek Hill. They got that defense. What this team is doing is so good, man. It is. And then you go and you bring in one of the better, or I'd say more potential linebackers in the NFL, and Bradley Chubb. That's going to get you guys, a lot of a lot of good defensive plays right there. And then you guys bring in Jeff Wilson from the Niners, who obviously his productivity is going to go down with Christian McCaffrey being there in San Francisco. So this is a very, very, very good move. Another thing that's very interesting about this, and I was listening to Cavino and Rich on Fox Sports Radio earlier, and Rich Davis brought this up. Mike McDaniel is going for lots of Niners players. It seems like that. It seems like that's his MO, right? Like he's going for who did he pick up? Raheem Mostert's there right now. He has obviously just traded for. He just traded for, Bradley Chubb he just traded for Jeff Wilson from the Niners. So that whole, he's definitely going for the guys that he's used to. And I really like this core around the Miami Dolphins. I think both these moves are going to help their respective side of the ball. I think Bradley Chubb gets a little reset, gets to go to Miami, gets to play with, that very young and up-and-coming team. I mean, it's going to be – it's only getting better for the Dolphins, right? They didn't really have to do too much. Like, this trade really wasn't like a loss for them at all. None of these trades were. I mean, Jeff Wilson was just like, a fifth-round pick. You give first like a third for Bradley Chubb. I mean, the Dolphins, and they have multiple picks. And that pick, what I believe was a 49ers. I think they gave that back to them, actually, which is wild. How about it? But, hey. Good moves for the Dolphins. Emmett Douglas, Blindside Sports, coming to you from the Blindside Studios. Get me on Twitter at EmmettNoC04. Go follow the show's Instagram and TikTok. Instagram, Blindside Sports 00. TikTok, Blindside Sports 7. I post clips, pictures of, tweets I post. I post a lot of stuff over on those socials. Twitter, I'm most active and stuff like that. So that's where you get the most of me. So at EmmettNoC04 is where you can go get me over there. So a move that was very confusing to me was the first big move of this day, and that was the Detroit Lions trading star tight end TJ Hawkinson over to the Minnesota Vikings for a second and a fourth. Now, do I think that, I think TJ Hawkinson's a good player. This is a great move for the Vikings. Great move. Sorry about that. Got a notification. Just trying to check it. Get everything set up. But it was a good move for the Vikings. But something that I just don't understand this trade in the sense of the Lions. The first main reason, and you just have to be an average football fan and know your divisions to know this. The 5-1 division leading Minnesota Vikings. That's who you trade your tight end to? I don't get it. I don't get it. Super good player. And you dump him to the Vikings, a team in your division. Brad Holmes, what are you doing? And this could bring me on to a whole nother Lions rant that we're gonna save for later, just in case. If we can get Nick in here, because I wanna run this take by someone else. Because there's been backlash about something with this Detroit Lions franchise, and I don't get it. All right, I don't get it. We're gonna get to that later, but hey, teasers are teasers. But this is one of the weirdest trades I've seen. I don't understand it. Maybe there's something going on, in Detroit, but then again, it comes down to, why would you trade him to the freaking number 1 seed in your NFC North, Minnesota Vikings? Right? Doesn't that seem a little off to you guys? I don't know. It rubs me the wrong way. And speaking of, not doing, that's exactly what the Green Bay Packers did. I said that Green Bay needs to go after a receiver. Aaron Rodgers is not looking good. That Aaron Rodgers in that offense is not looking good. It's not good, right? So I was like, if you're the Packers and you want to have a chance to revive your season, you need to, just you just need to do it. So I'm looking at the trades here, but you need to trade for a wide receiver. They just need to go after a wide receiver, man. It's holding Aaron Rodgers back. This team is looking crappy, and every week I've been writing the Packers are done take, and I've been doing it for a while now because look at this team. This team's not going anywhere in the playoffs. If they even make it at this point, I mean, it is not looking good for Green Bay. I mean, and I see the point. People are like, you shouldn't be shocked that the Packers didn't trade for a wide receiver. I get that. It's not that I'm shocked. I just don't get it. You have one of the best arguably the best. I don't think so, but arguably the best quarterbacks of all time, coming up on the end of his career, getting to that late 30s age. Your receiving core stinks out loud, but you don't do anything. I'm not shocked. I don't get it. Romeo Doubs is young. He's not the answer yet. All right. I'm not saying that could never be the case. You need a guy who's criminally underrated like Brandon Cooks. And unfortunately, the Packers failed. Just had to get that out there. Another trade that I like is Zach Moss and a 6th over to the Indianapolis Colts in exchange for Nyheim Hines, which obviously Zach Moss is the Bills running back. So Nyheim Hines is going over to the Buffalo Bills to I think split the carries along with Devin Singletary. This is another good move. I knew the Bills needed to pick up a running back, and that's exactly what they did, which is great. They get that guy, and Nyheim Hines is going to be just there to catch balls out of the backfield and just do his thing. All right? He's just going to be there. He's going to do his job. He's going to do it well. He's going to get, catch some balls out the backfield, and he's going to occasionally break off a big play. And that's what the Bills need, right? Another guy, I'd say another guy to back Singletary. I wouldn't be shocked if Nyheim Hines became the starter overall. I wouldn't be shocked at that. Another move that happened today, Emmett Douglas, Blindside Sports, no Nick Wright. He's not here today. Hope we have some stuff going on. We'll hope to have him on the show later. But another very interesting kind of situation here. The Bears. They've done a lot over the past couple of days, like the past week. Trading a Robert Quinn over the Eagles. Trading Roquan Smith over to the Ravens. They got like 3 picks out of that trade. And today, they kind of made a splash in the trade deadline. And it's something I don't know how I feel about. And they trade for Chase Claypool. And Chase Claypool had like that 2020 year. And then I think it was a little bit of immaturity got to the best of him. I think a change of scenery, send him over to Chicago. I think that could help. But I don't know, man. I feel like a second for Claypool was a little bit much. A little bit too much for Claypool. I think they kind of overpaid. Not much to talk about for that move. Steelers are like, all right, we got to move on from this guy. We got George freaking Pickens. We got Deontay Johnson. The guy who we just paid. It makes sense. All right. Seems like Claypool just wasn't really doing much. I don't know, man. But we'll have to see what happens over there in Chicago. Emmett Douglas, Blindside Sports, coming to you over from the Blindside Studios. Now, a couple weeks ago, Christian McCaffrey got traded to the Niners, and this Sunday he had a field day where he passed for a touchdown, caught a touchdown, and ran for a touchdown. Talk about domination, right? And I really like this move, man. For the Niners, if I'm a Niners fan, I just love this move. The move is very it's a good move. All right, it's sorry, I'm trying to work on something here as I'm doing this. I can't multitask, but this Christian McCaffrey thing. Oh man, it's such. I love this move for the Niners, but as a Seahawks fan, I hate it because like if you look at football wise, like okay, the Niners gave up a lot. Can McCaffrey stay healthy? That's a big question mark. But just seeing the full potential on the field, and I wouldn't be shocked if it got better. Niners, they got their bye week. That's they got more time for McCaffrey to learn this new offense of Kyle Shanahan's out there in San Fran. So I really like the move. Christian McCaffrey has been on a tear. And you always love to see, a player getting out of a bleep show organization and going and showing out somewhere else, even though he's in the AFC West or NFC West, along with my Seahawks. It's whatever, right? Like it's just okay. You have to deal with it. I mean, the Seahawks are looking better than expected, and we hammer that every show too. But we might have to touch on that a little bit more later. Emmett Douglas, Blindside Sports. Why don't we go over to a story that shocked me? Not really, but after a 2-5 starts, the Brooklyn Nets decided to move on from their head coach Steve Nash. But here's what shocked me: the person they hired. And it shocked me for a couple minutes until I sat back and thought about this, right? The Nets, they quickly went from Steve Nash to Ime Udoka, who, if you guys don't know who Ime Udoka is, we talked about that. We said at the start of the show, had some allegations with a woman on the Boston Celtics, some not good allegations, some stuff you don't want to hear. So he got suspended from the Celtics organization for a year, but he could get another job. So he left the Celtics, and now he's on the Nets. And I think Ime Udoka, I always get that name confused. I think he's a good coach. I do. But I don't know how I feel about the hire in Brooklyn. And let me explain to you why I don't feel, I don't feel too good about this. That team is so dang controversial, and you bring in, another controversy in there. I don't think it's, I hope he doesn't do anything. I hope nothing breaks, but it's just a very interesting thing to do. But why am I not shocked about this? And for a couple minutes back when this happened, when they signed him as their head coach, I was shocked until I thought about it. All right, let's flip the calendar back to last summer. And if you guys don't remember, Kevin Durant requested out of Brooklyn. And then in about August, they had this meeting of, Steve Nash. Look, I'll stay in Brooklyn if Steve Nash is fired. And the Nets are just like, all right, whatever, we're going to keep our guy, whatever. Which turned out to be bullpucky. But hey, the Nets, after that, they kept Steve Nash for a little bit. And obviously not anymore. But a lot of the rumors that were heating up last year were for Kevin Durant to go to the Celtics, right? Team up with Jason Tatum, go over to Boston and bring Boston a championship. And obviously, with Kevin Durant staying in Brooklyn with Kyrie Irving and Ben Simmons, that didn't happen. And then this Ime Udoka stuff happened, and the Nets started to realize, oh, Steve Nash, maybe he isn't that guy. Ime Udoka freaking torched us last year, made it to the finals, almost won the finals, and had that Celtics team in very promising places. Let's bring him on because Kevin Durant clearly wanted to go play with Ime. Clearly he wanted to. So it's a good move, right? For that, no, I won't say it's a good move. But you have to think about it that way. Not, everyone's like, oh, you're going conspiracy. I mean, I usually don't go that way often. But that's the only way. Like, I definitely think KD was a part of this one, right? Because they're like, oh, because I think after this season, if this like 2-5, KD would have dipped, right? If it's if we were, let's say we're on pace for, hold on, that'd be like, it wouldn't be good. I'm trying to like do the math like as we go, and it's kind of wrecking me. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to So they probably like a 20-something win team, like 22, like 20, 24, something like that, right? 23. They will not be a good team. And Steve Nash, was was a lot of the blame for that. So they're like, if we don't do anything quick, KD's gone this year. So that's why they did it. I think it was the best thing they could have done? But hey, players want who players want, agree with it or not. But it's just how that works, right? Emmett Douglas, Blindside Sports, coming to you from the Blindside Studios. Another thing that it's weird in the NFL, and maybe this guy was just too much of a funny dude for me, but Dan Campbell getting all the hate that he is. Did we not? I was very high on the Lions to start this year. I was like, I wouldn't be shocked if the Lions on a run and made the wild card. And I picked them I did it, which was a dumb mistake. But hey, I did it. All right, I made the pick. It had to have happened. So, wait, do we have him? Hold up. Okay, no, we don't. But the Lions they went down again, and Dan Campbell has been getting a lot of the criticisms. He has been getting a lot of it, and I am going to be in the minority on this one. Oh, Dan Campbell should be fired. Stop it. Are you for real? What does the word rebuild mean? All right, let's take it back. Their offense had the injury bug pretty bad. DeAndre Swift missed some time. Amon-Ra St. Brown missed some time and was banged up. I think he's just now at full health. DJ Chark also missed time. The team is injury riddled. The worst, their defense, it needs work, right? Aiden Hutchinson, that was a start. Looks like he's going to be something. But the defense needs work. People are calling for Dan Campbell's job. I don't get it. And I know I'm in the in the 1%er here. Or probably not 1%er. It's a little bit of an exaggeration. But I know I'm probably in the, kind of rare group here. But give the guy a break, man. For real. I mean, even like we did last year with the Lions, I don't think they're winning at least a couple more games to go over to end the season. I don't see him being this bad, for how long, for this long. I don't see it happening. So stop with the freaking Dan Campbell stuff, man. I don't get it. It's just it's stupid. Emmett Douglas, Blindside Sports, coming to you from the Blindside Studios. Did the Seahawks beating the Giants prove anything about the Seattle Seahawks? Okay. I thought the Giants were kind of fugazi, and I've been a Seahawks fan my whole life. I'm a diehard Seahawks fan, but there's something telling me. I don't know. I think I really like what Geno's doing. I was completely wrong about it. I really like Ken Walker. Or I like that. I like that as a pick in general. When that happened, so I wasn't right or wrong. I guess I was right. But the defense has been very, very unexpected. Nobody expected the defense to do as good as it has the past couple weeks. I know earlier we were just not good to start the year, but the bigger shocker was Geno Smith. This guy is freaking tearing it up. I was so wrong about it. And do I think this is going to stay? We've got the Rams to end the season. We got the Rams twice, which I know the Rams are very interesting. I said a while ago they're hungover. They still looked hungover, especially against the Niners, or maybe they just can't win against the Niners. But that I could see that defense giving Geno a little bit of trouble. All right, I could see it happening, but be at 5 wins through week 8 and nobody expected it. Like, I don't know anyone who really predicted this team to go 5 or to have 5 wins through week 8, to be 5-3, but people did, maybe. And I think on this show, I was talking to someone like I knew in real life, and they said Seahawks are gonna, make the playoffs. And on this show, I like laughed at them in their face, and they're 5-3 right now, which is wild to think. Like, I could see the Seahawks sneaking a game against the Rams, because the Rams just aren't like who they were. But nobody expected to be this good, and I'm here for it, right? I'm here for the Geno Smith. I was one of Geno Smith's biggest haters, but I am here. I am ready to support the Geno Smith movement in full now. Emmett Douglas, Blindside Sports. Get me on Twitter at EmmettNoC04. If you're enjoying the video so far, make sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe. If you're, if you like the stream, turn your notifications, turn your post notifications, hit that bell down below right by the Blindside Sports YouTube channel where you can click on the channel. There's a bell. All right. Or do you have to go to the channel now? I think you have to go to the channel and where it says subscribe, and then you have to hit the bell. But, either way you can find it, turn on your notifications, set it to all so you won't be missed every time I upload or go live. You could come in, chat here. If anyone is watching, you can comment down below. I need to get better at reading these because I've probably missed some. Can't talk. So yeah. All right, we haven't got any comments. All right. Emmett Douglas, Blindside Sports, coming to you from the Blindside Studios. How about this? A team that I was very high on to start the year. And I just got to say, my predictions, and this is the beauty of the NFL, where, parity of, the same teams, doing stuff doesn't really happen. My Rams-Chargers Super Bowl pick is looking about as bad as the Los Angeles Lakers right now. Like, it is. It's not going to happen. I mean, and I'm not going to, mid-season pick it. If I had to pick right now, I definitely would not pick. I would not pick the Rams and Chargers to go to the Super Bowl. I don't pick either of them. But my pick has just been it's been so bad. But my pick also that was really crappy was the Raiders to be second in the AFC West, which I don't even know. I don't think it's going to happen, man. I don't. After all this, man, how about this? Who is to blame for all this later chokes? I mean, the Raiders are just not looking like what they expected. You expected Derek Carr and Devontae Adams to be, kind of a team pair that would help the Raiders offense just skedaddle and go for it. Oh, thanks for interrupting Blindside Sports. I hope you enjoyed the video of that. If y'all heard that car, bro just drove by my crib fast, and he had one of those loud cars. I don't know what his problem is, but hey, it happens. But the Raiders just have not been what they were prescribed to be. I mean, I did not expect it. If you told me the Raiders offense is going to be worse with Devontae Adams after week 8, I was, in around April or May, whenever this trade happened. I believe it was March, actually. Bad job by me, late March. I would have said, bruh, you're smoking crack. Stop it, man. Come on. But, Josh McDaniels, which I was wrong on, was, obviously that didn't work out. It isn't working out. And you have to, obviously, who's it to blame for it? I think it is McDaniels. I mean, Derek Carr, he looked good last year. He looked good with an interim head coach. He had one of the better seasons of his career. Now the Raiders can't do a thing on offense, and I think it's McDaniels' play calling. Right? I think Josh McDaniels is a lot to blame for this. I mean, Derek Carr, he was fine last year with an interim head coach. Now he's a top 3 receiver in the NFL, a running back who is emerged as one of the best runner, he's had a career year. Derek Carr, yes, he's partially blamed. He could be better. But I also throw some of the shade at McDaniels. Play calling could be better. But the thing I don't get is Gruden got fired early on in the year. Gruden got fired at around October, beginning of October, week 5, week 6, on Monday night. It was I know I remember who was playing. It was like the Baltimore Ravens and somebody else in the Monday Night Football game, and he got fired. No, was it the Jags? No, it wasn't. I thought it was the Jags, but I don't think that does. I don't know, but I know the Ravens are playing in that game when he got fired. I don't know the stuff your brain remembers. You feel me? But they obviously brought back Rich Versace as their head coach or their interim head coach for this, and the team was great. Nobody expected the Raiders to do what they did. They made it to the playoffs, dang near beat the Bengals, but the Bengals made it to the Super Bowl. So you can't really put the loss too much on the Raiders. I think it's safe to pose a question: did they make the mistake of bringing Josh McDaniels on? And the answer is, I'm putting 2 thumbs up here. Yes, you should have kept Rich Versace. I've seen people. Oh God, I've seen someone on Twitter, and I'm not going to call this guy out. If you listen to the Ben Maurer show, if you're a Maurer militia member, one of the members of our militia, this is so ridiculous, man. That they should hire back John Gruden. No, you should never let go of Rich Versace. You should never let go of Rich Versace. For a head coach who I should have seen that he wasn't going to work out, but I didn't. I was a little more optimistic, and I was like, how could this guy screw it up that bad when you have like a playoff team like that? And then I was really on board when they picked up Devontae. I'm like, how can this guy screw it up? And through 8 weeks so far, he is screwing it up badly. The Raiders are horrible this year, and I think he's at blame for it. Emmett Douglas, Blindside Sports, coming to you from the Blindside Studios. This week 8, man, it was a very interesting week. I mean, we had lots of people have in the fantasy world, fantasy football, had lots of good games here. I'm trying to pull up the rest of the topics here, make sure we've done everything. But World Series Game 3 kicks off tonight with the series tied 1-1 out there in Philly. That's going to be a good game. Go Phillies! Screw the Astros. Yeah, screw the Astros. Well, I'm trying to. That's where I wanted to go. Tony Pollard had yet another good game against the on the Cowboys, and Zeke just he hasn't been it. There's a running back controversy in Dallas. Zeke and Tony, who's better? And the answer is Tony Pollard, man. I mean, we haven't seen Zeke do Zeke things. Like he's had, he's had his touchdowns. Okay, cool. But we haven't seen the Zeke effect in a very long time. So, I think Pollard's a better guy. And something I'm starting to learn with running backs as we go on here is how, I wouldn't say replaceable, but actually that's the way you can put it, as bad as it sounds. I mean, when you have it's so easy to find a good running back. That's my point, right? There's so many low-key good running backs that not sometimes it's a move not to pay a running back. I mean, look, the Cowboys are a very good team, and Tony Pollard is always having these good games. I believe he's beating Zeke and all the stats. Why not? Why not roll with Pollard? He's gonna, you need an some sort of offense with that defense. And I know they finally did it the other day, which was shocking, but it was cool to see. They finally, picked it up on offense with Dak Prescott. Had a very good game. Obviously, no Zeke, but Tony Pollard was, what was the handy man in that game. Emmett Douglas, Blindside Sports, coming to you live from the Blindside Studios. Get me on Twitter at EmmettNoC04. Yes, there's a controversy. I think it's time to start Tony Pollard. I think it's time, or do a 50-50 thing, because Tony Pollard needs more carries. I mean, when Tony Pollard was taking the full load, we saw what happened in Dallas. I mean, it was I mean, they were a whole, like, with Dak Prescott, if we're talking that way, they were a whole different team. They were. Emmett Douglas here on Blindside Sports. The Bengals last night had a stinky performance against the Cleveland Browns in primetime on Halloween. And look, I know that the Bengals have had they haven't had the best years. They are missing Jamar Chase. Burrow and Jamar Chase started to find a connection that was absolutely dominant the past couple of weeks. Like, those boys, they were killing it. Now Jamar Chase is out for a while. It's putting this Bengals team at a little bit of a standstill because the offense is just not what it was with Chase, without Chase. It's not comparable. Joe Burrow just does not look good. Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow is that offense. If he misses like 3 to 4 weeks, the Bengals are fine. The Browns, I mean, we already knew they're going to be scary this year. Even like when Deshaun came back, I didn't expect Jacoby to like have him this good. But like once Deshaun comes back, like that team's gonna be good. I hate to see it. I hate to say that, So Deshaun, but it's true. I mean, as bad of a dude as he is, he's a good football player. So hey, it happens, right? It happens. Emmett Douglas here on Blindside Sports. I believe we are going to get out of here, wrap it up for this episode. If you guys enjoyed me, be sure to leave a like. Go follow me on Twitter at MNOC04. Go follow the show Blindside Sports 00 on Instagram. Go follow the TikTok at Blindside Sports 7. Subscribe to the YouTube, like, comment, hit the bell, turn on your post noties so you don't miss every time I go live or upload a video. Stay tuned to the social medias for whenever I'll have a next show. For you guys, for me, from everyone, shout out, Nick Wright at @isNickWright on Twitter. Thank you guys. Super good show today. Hey, it's kind of cool, to come back and do a solo episode. To kind of do that by yourself, it's cool. Predictions for the World Series tonight at home with the Phillies and the Astros. Give me the Phillies 5-3 over the Astros. I think it's gonna be a close game. There's gonna be a decent amount of scoring, but I think the Phillies are gonna take this one at home. See ya.